Good afternoon. How are you? And welcome to FFTV, a daily vibe today. Now, sometimes there is a little of a lack when we go on StreamYard, so bear with it. It does catch it up. So firstly, how is everyone today? I hope everyone is doing extremely well today. It's still a little bit strange, to be honest, to be being brought back down to earth, having no real football to talk about. But there is plenty to talk about. Pre-season is obviously started now. The games, the Premier League, the Championship, etc., will all be with us within 4 or 5 weeks. But we still have the Euros to speak about, even though it's finished and even though it was disappointing, there is still a lot to talk about when it comes to the Euros. And I tweeted this thumbnail. I put it out there, and a lot of people messaged me back was saying, "Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Is this clickbait? Is Gareth Southgate the right man? Are you crazy?" But I just want to break it down a little bit about where we went wrong, where we could have done better. And is he the right manager to take this talented squad, some would say the most talented squad we've ever had, to the level that they need to be consistently? I think that's the big question that a lot of people are not actually asking. Now, some people are saying, you must be crazy. He's got to 2 semi-finals. He's got them playing well. They're hard to beat. It seems like in the camp, everyone is happy, etc. But I'm not too sure in all of these things that everyone says. And I am that way. I always look at things from both point of view. I look at things from the negative. I'll also look at things from the positive. But where can we get better? And at the end of the day, we finished second, which means we can get better. And that's my point when it comes to Gareth Southgate. Of course, he's going to remain the England manager. Of course, a lot of people will be questioning what you want about Fran. Why would you be saying that? But for me, I think it's a good conversation to have on a daily vibe. So we're going to be around here, depending on how many people get in the chat. We'll try and stay around here for about 45 to 50 minutes. But the live ones are a little bit better because we can interact with everyone coming into the chat. I understand a lot of people may be at work still because it is an awkward time, 4 o'clock. However, later on in the evening, obviously, by the time I have to put my son to bed and that, it may be a little bit late. So I thought we'll do it at 4. I know Curtis does one round about the 2-3 mark. So I didn't want to clash with his as well. So just check who's in the chat. Great support as always. Craig's popped in. My light Friday in the building. What you saying, bro? I'm all good. Thanks for the support again. Hope you're all good. Obviously, Nathan again. FG, did you manage to catch any of the action from the Gold Cup? Jamaica, come on, the Reggae Boys. I didn't. I'm going to look at the highlights later on. I know they had a comfortable 2-0 win, which was very good. Yes, I'm all good, Nath. Hope you are well. And Grant is also said, hope you are well as well. By the way, is everyone all right? Are you working from home? What's the score of everyone else? Because I know everyone is completely different with what's going on in the world at the moment. But thanks for popping in for this little bit of controversial debate, really. Is Gareth Southgate the right man? Now, let's get into it. The competition was a success to a degree, because a lot would say, me personally, a success. We didn't win, so was it a success? Now, if we're a small nation, and if we are not expected to get far, for example, if we was in the other side of the competition with Germany, with Portugal, with France, with Belgium, with Spain, if we got to the final, unbelievable achievement. We was in the easiest side of the competition. And it might seem negative what I'm saying, but I'm just trying to be realistic. So we're humble and obviously realistic with what has actually just happened. Now, England were in the easy side of the competition. They had one half-decent game against the Germans. And we did well against the Germans. Germany were not the old Germany of old, but that doesn't matter. History doesn't matter. It's what's going on today. History is history. We talk about history to compare, but at the end of the day, it's what's going on today. Now, we had the German game. It was excellent. The atmosphere was going crazy. We did well. The Denmark game, for 70 minutes, it was a tough game. They tired. They made the subs. Didn't work. We went through. Little bit of energy in extra time. Fair play. You get to the final. Now you get to the final, and bear in mind, the whole tournament, every single match, we have questioned the formation. The pundits, the public, everyone has questioned the personnel, not so much the formation, okay? But Gareth Southgate has got it right along the way. So we have to respect the fact that Gareth Southgate got it right. He looks at the opposition and he maneuvers his team to face the opposition. Now, 7 of the team were always playing. 7 defenders, basically, were always playing. It was always between Mount and Grealish in the 10, or Saka, or Sancho, or Foden in the attacking. Now, the fact that Foden hardly played in this competition, it highlights to me is what we're going to speak about, and Jack Grealish. So we get to the final, and not once have we played well or got excited about the way that England play. Now, I'm for one, fair enough. I accept that it's not great on the eye. I accept that it's not exciting football. I accept that. What I don't accept is the fact that we've got the best talented squad, footballing ability, since I can remember. And I'm 41, okay? So is that way of playing good for these players and good for the development of the English team? Now, some would say, what you on about, Fran? They've got to 2 semi-finals. Let's be honest. They were the easiest semi-finals to ever get to in the history of international football, all right? And I don't want to come across negative, because what he's done and what he's been doing has been great, right? They've got results. It seems like they've got team morale, and it has been good, okay? Now, my example to that is, I remember playing, I was at Lincoln City, and we played a 3 up top, one a left wing, a right wing, one down the middle. And we did not put 3 passes together in the game. And I used to get so frustrated during the game, okay? However, we would just go long. The centre-half would go up front. You'd flick it on and you'd run onto it. Proper English Route 1 football. Horrible to watch, horrible to play on, okay? But we got to 3 playoffs. We got to 3 playoffs playing this way, okay? Gareth Southgate, he's not playing that way. But for international football and the players that these players play, it's horrible to watch. And it gets you so far. Now, when I was at Lincoln, we got to these finals. We never won one. We never won one. Gareth Southgate, semi-final and a final. That's 2. Yeah, we might get to the 3rd one. I can't see him getting to the 3rd one, but we'll see. For the next level, which in theory makes it a success, that type of football is very easy to figure out. I thought the Italians dominated the game from the 10th minute. I wouldn't say dominated it in the first half from the 10th minute, but they was in control of the game from the 10th minute in the first half. And the second half, they dominated the game because they just figured out the defensive attributes of the way England was playing. And that was the same as when we was playing at Lincoln. Teams just knew, right, this is what they're going to do. It's very easy to defend against. They're not going to be creative. They're not going to be any clever movement. They're just going to go down the sides or trying to hit you over the top. That's how I feel England play, but on an international level. And the likes of Foden and the likes of Grealish and the likes of Saka and the likes of Sancho and the likes of Bellingham, they didn't play because Gareth Southgate doesn't play this way, which is modern day football. Now, someone trying to say it's working, Fran. Don't moan. I get that. I get that. But to become winners and to win things, do you not have to be a certain type of team? Because if we had played Spain, or we'd have played Germany, or we'd have Belgium, or we'd have played France, we'd have got battered. We'd have got battered. Okay, we didn't play anyone decent until Italy, and if Italy had an out-and-out striker, we would have got battered the other day, but they didn't. Okay, now they've done really well. I don't want to sound like I'm coming across negative. I'm just trying to say I don't think Gareth Southgate is the man to take this squad to the level that they can go to. And the fact that Foden and Grealish and all these players hardly got any minutes, and Phillips and Rice, who did well, are in the team regular. Now, for me, when your 2 holding midfielders are outstanding, a lot of the time it's because you're under the cosh. Okay? A lot of the time. But I've just got this thing that's not sitting right with me about the fact that I don't think Gareth Southgate is the right man for these players to fulfill their international potential. The so-called talented ones that we have. The defenders, the defensive midfielders, the fullbacks, they're going to do all right because they're going to be defending most of the time. We have easy qualifications for the World Cup. We've got easy qualifications for the Euros. We get to the competitions and we become unstuck. Yes, this team has got further, but the route that this team has had in both competitions has been the easiest route for any international team prior to them. And I think we lost because we became unstuck. He got it wrong. He got the substitutions wrong. He got it wrong. He didn't change anything. And we got battered. And he didn't change anything. So let me go to the comments because it's only right that obviously I say my point and then I hear your points. Are you going to what's happening? Big up. Thanks for passing through. And Jamaica won yesterday. They won 2-0. I'm going to check out the highlights because I haven't yet. Nathan's put, he's got to a final, Southgate, but now the question is, how can England get over the line and actually win trophies now? That's what the aim should be. And this is my point. I do not think that this team playing that way wins anything. And some people will say, well, we're a kick away from winning. That would have just smoothed over the cracks for me. But people would have just said, fine, we won. Of course, we say, listen, we don't care how we win, which we don't care how we win, right? But when you don't win, you do care how you lose. And I'm telling you, the cracks will be smooth over. I'm not 100% convinced still now that Gareth Southgate is the right man for this talented team to be playing. And evidence for me was none of our best players played in that team. They've put, Nave speaking to, are you gonna Reggae Boys, stunning goal from Bobby Reed. I know he scored, I'm not seeing it. With talented players like Sancho, Foden, Grealish, Saka, etc., England should definitely play more on the front foot. Exactly my point. I think if we play on the front foot, right, we beat Italy. I think if we play on the front foot, if we play like these kids play in the Premier League, right, and the argument is a lot of players, when they come to England, they don't have the players around them like they have in their current squad, which is fair enough. But only Man City really are outstanding. Everyone else's team is bang average, let's be honest. So I get the argument. But if you've got a Foden, a Grealish, a Saka, a Sancho, a Kane, a Sterling, a Bellingham, a Mount, a Reece James, and a Cowell, and a Walker, a Shaw, you mean to tell me that that is not one hell of a talented attacking team? Now, if you've got a manager who is attack-minded, that team plays, and we win that game. We will not get a better opportunity to win a tournament. Not get a better opportunity to win a tournament. Tony's put, none of our creative players really played above average. Mount, Saka, Foden, and Grealish just didn't perform. Was it a system we played that they just didn't fit into? I think it was, I tell you what, Tone, I think it was Foden, we couldn't really get the ball to him. Sancho had a one little run. Mount hardly touched the ball in the tournament. Never mind that game. I don't know how he was still on. And Grealish, again, we didn't really get to the ball to him. And for me, it's like Kane in the first few games. And any player, I played as a winger, as you know, stroke striker. You have to get the ball from your teammates. Because we are set up and so defensive-minded, our first instruction is defend. When you've got the ball, look for a player. However, defend. And when you're playing 7 defensive-minded players in a team, ultimately, soon as you face someone who is going to be half decent, who can defend, because we were playing on the break for most of the tournament. So if you face a team that is half decent defending, like the Italians, it's going to be very hard to break them down on the break, because it's very easy to defend against on the break if you've got experienced defenders, like Italy have. So would it not be better to go toe-to-toe with a team who are not expecting, it's not France. I thought, but they haven't got the firepower of France. They've got a great team, but they haven't got the fight. Immobile hardly touched the ball. Insigne hardly did anything. They were little passes around the corner, but didn't really cause any serious problems against us, even though they dominated play. They dominated play. You've seen Spain. Spain battered Italy. They couldn't score. Italy had all the ball. They didn't really have a threat because the out and out speed merchant centre forwards these days seems to be a dying breed because everyone wants to play in front of people. So I think it's the fact of the matter is you're right, Tone. They don't fit in to Gareth Southgate's philosophy of playing. And that's a big issue for me. If these players don't fit into the way Gareth Southgate is going to play, is Gareth Southgate the right person? Because another tournament comes, and if we play defensively again, because he thinks this has been relatively successful, if we play defensively again, we're not going to get that amount of luck that we got this tournament. We had so much luck along the way. Excuse me. We had so much luck along the way, and I just don't think we're going to get that. And that's my question. My question about, is Gareth Southgate the man? Arguing to talk is an eighth. Yeah, great goal, Bob Reed. Johnson played well. Nice victory. Akuna Matata. Oh my God, what a film! What a film, eh? Love it. Thanks for popping in and thanks for the question. Whoa, what your thoughts are? Akuna Matata said, "I think club rival players don't play good together in England, like Italy and other countries." Now that's been a bit of a problem over the years, and people have never really admitted it. But I think when you had the Chelseas, Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes, don't get me wrong, I think they have a mutual respect and they get on. But you do see sometimes this rivalry, especially when Man United and Arsenal were kind of at each other's throats. And you do see a lot of egotistical players in the dressing room. And it can be a little bit of a problem. People don't pass to certain players. People don't want to recover runs for certain players. I actually think that this squad is a little bit more together than any other squad that I've seen. I think Gareth Southgate has made it a club mentality, a club vibe. But there's also going to be players who are thinking, how am I not playing? Phil Foden must be thinking, how am I not playing in an English team that is probably, how can I put it, 75% of what the team that he plays in week out? How can Jack Grealish, been out for 3 months, but he don't trust Jack Grealish. Jadon Sancho, more assists than any other winger in Europe, and more goals, I think, than any other winger in Europe. Couldn't get a game. So, for me, it's a strange. Ben Chilwell won the Champions League. Shaw's done great, but hardly didn't get a game. And it makes me think, I'm looking at it from a very positive type of attacking football mindset. Gareth Southgate looks at it from a very conservative, very objective, defensive mindset. And that's fine. I get it. But attack is your best form of defense. And attack for me, a lot of the time, is what wins. People say the Italians defended great. The Italians bombed forward every time they could in the group stages, quarterfinal and the semi-final. You know? So I just think there's an argument for both sides. There is an argument for both sides. So Alex has popped in. Thanks for popping in. He's put those unicorn inflatables don't look so clever anymore. Yeah, and you know what? It builds good team morale. Those little games in the pool, you're trying to relax the team, etc. They shouldn't allow the press there. The press should not have been allowed in there, and those players should have been allowed to just have that time to themselves. I think there's certain times where the press shouldn't have been in. Grant's put, who, by the way, Grant is Scottish, so he's probably quite happy. He's put, I've never seen a manager who brings on a sub to bring them back off in 2 games. It shows that this guy's just making mistakes up as he goes along the way when things don't go to plan. Well, I've never seen that. I've seen it happen once, but to do it twice in a game, to bring a player on and then think, oops, wait a minute, I've got it wrong. As you know, I do a bit of trading and it's been a nightmare 10 days. And I've done that a couple of times where I've gone in a trade and I thought, right, I've done a mistake. And because I've not set by my rules, I've not set by my beliefs. And like you say, it looks like it's just off the cuff. Or we'll get him on, get Henderson on because of the legs, because of Rice, which is fair enough. I thought Rice did do well that game. I thought it was his best game because we was under the cosh. And then he brings Henderson off because he can't take penalties. Fair enough. But there's so many other players you could have taken off. So many other players could have taken off. For me, it's another area. People will stick up for Southgate, and I get rightly so, right? He's lost in a final against Italy. But when you look at it, there's so many things that he didn't do right. And I think he got a lot of luck. Alex has also put Terry Venables would have got more out of this squad, in my opinion. Maybe. I think he would have. Nate, are you going to believe that you can get far in the Gold Cup? Touching on Jamaica, I think we've got a chance of getting far. I don't think we'll win it. I don't think we're as strong as a squad as we've ever been before. But, you know, I think we should get to at least the quarterfinals. That's for sure. Kuna Matata, Mount was good this Euros, but no one else passed to him. See, I've got to disagree. I thought Mount ran around. Gareth Southgate trusts him a lot. And what he did do when he was realizing he wasn't getting the ball, he decided, bare minimum, I'm going to run around. So that's what Mount did do. And it's not actually entirely his fault that he couldn't produce in this tournament. Because like you say, you have to give these players the ball. But as a coach, you've got to realize that we can't get the ball to these certain players. It's not working. I need to change something else. But Gareth Southgate didn't change anything, hardly made any subs. The Italians made subs left, right, and centre, and they went for the throat. You know, they went for the throat. Other Gooners put England should have gone for Scott Parker, Eddie Howe. I don't think Southgate is the right guy. The only problem is with your Parker and the Southgate and Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe would be very, very good for me. Are they the type of person that England want? You've got to remember, England will only go for a certain type of personnel to be England manager. I'm surprised Sam Allardyce was even got that job, but that tells you a lot. The fact that Sam Allardyce became our national coach, who doesn't encourage players to put 4 passes together. And it tells you a lot of the mindset at the top of the kind of coaches that we're going to bring in. For me, we're not looking at grassroots. We're not looking at producing world-class footballers. We stick to the way the English players play. We stick to the way English players coach. They should change the whole coaching manual, the whole philosophy from top to bottom, and teach players to keep the ball. We could not keep the ball in this tournament. Ukraine, albeit it's Ukraine. Come on, Ukraine, let's be honest. We're expected to keep the ball against Ukraine. But this Germany, we didn't really keep the ball that well. Croatia, we didn't really keep the ball that well. And Croatia were poor. Czech, we did, and we played at half Czech. We didn't really keep the ball well. We won the games, but we didn't really keep the ball. And it's the worst thing, I think, that we've had for years, that we don't teach players to keep the ball. And that game the other day was crying out for someone to slow the game right down, keep the ball, and have intelligence on the ball. We don't have it, and we don't encourage it, and it comes from a philosophy of football mentality. Next put Mason Mount was poor, like you say. You've already touched on that. I think Nave's talking to Guna. I agree with the squad can make the World Cup, maybe. Akuna Matata's put Mount played good with good players and forward-thinking players. If Rice and Phillips play, they will make Mount look bad players. 100% agree. Rice and Phillips do not break lines. Rice and Phillips do not look for a number 10 and look for people in acute angles. If you looked at Pedri, I know I'm raving on about him during the live streams, etc. He's got in team with the tournament. The best 18-year-old I have seen on a ball for a very, very long time. He is the type of player that it would not surprise me if Man City try everything to get him from Barcelona. And we don't have that. We don't have that type to keep the ball, know when to pass it, know not to pass it. And it's easy for me to sit here, and it's easy for us to sit here and criticize players who are on 100, 150 grand, 200 grand a week playing for England. Who are we to say that? Okay. Who are we to say that? However, they've not done it. Semi-finals are not good enough. Finals not good enough unless you win. So we can say something. We can say something and put our opinions across. Tony's put Southgate really was found out wanting when he had to make big decisions, and he needed to see him to have a plan A, and that's it, and can't adjust if things go wrong. That's exactly the problem. The Italians adjusted. The Italians went a goal behind. They quickly realized that England were playing a 3 and a wide 2 and trying to get Trippier and Shaw going forward. They had the odd opportunity after that, but quickly got to grips with that. And England had a few half chances. And then it came to half time as they eased their way into the game, and they changed. They changed the way they play. They changed everything. And look what happens. They should have won the game in 90 minutes. England did extra well to get to penalties. Craig's book, Fran, who would you like to see as the next England manager? The problem is it's a very hard role. It's a very complicated role because you're not with the players every day. You only see the players every so often. You have to go and scout them, and then you have to go and scout them that can they do what they're doing in the England squad? You're going to see Sancho, didn't play him. Seeing Foden, didn't play him. Seeing Grealish, didn't play him. You know? You go and watch those players and you're thinking, I need these I need these in my team. I need these in my starting 11. So how can I make these in my starting 11? Because I tell you what, if you got Grealish, Foden, Kane, and Sancho or Sterling, and you play positively, they are good enough to break most teams down in the world. But when you're too defensive, you don't give them opportunities. Sterling started off well, right? I can't remember him touching the ball in the second half where we had to say, and Sterling. Mount hardly touched the ball in the second half. So it tells you that way too defensive. And the Italians were superb in defending, and the Italians were superb by dictating and controlling the tempo of the game. That's, for me, that's what the problem is. And the next England manager, wait there, sorry. I would go for a foreign manager. We've tried it before and it nearly worked, but I would go for a foreign manager with a foreign philosophy, and get a team so the likes of Grealish, Foden, Sancho, Mount, Phillips can really progress and enjoy football. For me, because I'm telling you now, they're not going to come out and say it, but if you was to speak with those players, they would be saying, God, it was horrible to play and I never got the ball. It's too negative. That's what they would be saying. They're not going to come out in media and say that, but that's what they would be saying. Tony's put, England have lots of photos in the pool. Must have been practicing their diving. Arsenal, South Africa, thanks for popping in. Really do appreciate it. I know it's a live stream and sometimes people miss it. I know the time is going to be different in South Africa, so thanks for popping in. Arsenal, South Africa has put, Fran, did you live stream from the start or did you want to build a following? I built a little following, but after speaking from Curtis, he was the one who told me to start doing live streams because we connect with people. I do sometimes daily edit my edited videos and get that up. And I also did the Euro Flash ones. But I think if we can figure out a time where everyone is available, the daily vibe might be a good idea to do a video a day. I know people are starting to get back to work now and things like that, but the daily vibe might be a good thing to do live. Now, if you prefer live daily vibes, or if there's nothing to talk about, we'll just speak about whatever's in the news. If you prefer these ones rather than the edited ones, let me know. I will still put some edited ones up when we can't get on every day. But if you do like this interaction and you do prefer live, please, give me an eye in the comments and then we'll start to work that way. But thanks. It's a good question. It's a good question. Appreciate that. Bang, bang. Thanks for popping in. He has put, or a she, could be a she. Where are we? Why are England fans so, where are we? Because I've got quite a lot of comments. So yeah, why are England fans so flaky? Getting to the final is not lucky. Everybody hates losing. It's all right, but stop hating on the process. No finals since damn 1996. You know what it is, Bang Bang? For me, you lost. You lost. And that means that there's always failure in success. Okay? And you have to go back and look at the things, what could have gone better, should have done better. I always use the example of Tom Brady. Tom Brady was something like the name of the last pick in the NFL drafting all those years ago. And they only picked him because someone else they didn't get. He was the last one. They picked him. He's gone on to be probably the best ever quarterback. What they did, I think it's Patriots at the time, I can't remember who drafted him that many years ago. What they did is they didn't worry about how good he was. They actually went back and realized how bad it was that they didn't pick him first and how lucky they were that they got him. And they went back and changed their whole scouting system. They went back and changed their whole philosophy. And then they just kept regular getting top NFL players. So for me, I know what you're saying. I get it. You should just be happy. But if you've got high standards and you're a winner, then no, I don't think you should be happy. Kuna Matara's put, Mount shouldn't have played as long as he did in the final. He was poor, 100%. How Beast, thanks popping in. Yes, what's happening, big man? Or woman. Yo, Fran, did you see Inter's new kit, the PSV, Eki Becky to play against Watford? I did see the snakeskin one. You know what? I actually quite like it. I actually quite like the kit. Bang, bang. Mate, you're going to look at the numbers. Mount was top 3 in forward passes first, recoveries third, and distance covered first in every game he played. He worked very hard, okay? And that's where his stats mislead. He worked very hard, and he was effective defensively. But he's a forward player. He's a forward player. So I get that, 100%. But he was poor. The whole tournament, he was poor. But it depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at it from a defensive point of view, that's why Gareth Southgate played him more than Grealish, because he relies on him defensively. Samuel Oz popped in. He has put, you have to look at the caliber of international managers. Jachin Lowe was assistant in 2006 World Cup. Deschamps failed at Juve and Marseille. Finland's manager, actually a former PE teacher. Yeah, 100%. You never know how they're going to go. You never know how they're going to go at international level. You really don't. Bang Bang's put, agreed. The standard international managers will never be as great as domestic. Fair enough. Nate's obviously speak to Bang Bang. I'm not a star merchant, and they don't always tell the full story. Mount was poor the whole tournament. Have to agree. Bang Bang, obviously, Nate is still saying, still rank Mount. Think he's a quality player, but not going to sugarcoat the facts. His tournament. 100% couldn't agree. I think he's a great player. Arteta for the England national team. Oh, God, that would be like one nightmare to another. Bang Bang, I respectfully disagree with your football knowledge. 100%. That's what we're on here for. We're on here for that. I respectfully think you're a dreamland, but fair play. All banter, everyone. Bang, bang. I think, Fran, where are we? You know what? I have to catch up, and sometimes it skips all my comments. So bear with me, people. I try and say everyone's. We might not be able to do that all the time. Bang, I think Fran knows the importance of a player dragging defenders and midfielders out, breaking lines, looking to forward pass, continues pressing all game. It is important, and especially if you're an attacking player, and that's the only way I think we can judge Mount. But he did do his defensive part, and I think we have to give him his dues for that. Late arrival, Southgate out. Go on, Chris. Chris has gone in. He thinks Southgate should be out. It's a question. It's a question, Chris. Nice, but don't be sensitive, lad. It's just a game. Yeah. We're not sensitive in here. Wenger. I think Wenger will go into the FIFA, and he will be kind of like a role in FIFA, won't he, Wenger? I think he would be good. Sanyu has put, to be honest, Italy pulled in Italy. The experience showed, especially in the penalty era. Yeah, they were outstanding. You want me out or in? But when England are proud, they got to the pens, and it was their hands of shootout. If they won, all the comments changed, but they're young lads and they will bounce back. I hope so. I really do hope so. They should be proud that they got so far, but they obviously need to, look back and say, we went wrong. We become unstuck somewhere. Live is way better. Appreciate that. I know sometimes we can't all get in, but thanks for that. If you appreciate live, then, let me know in the comments. I think Nathan Bang Bang and Rome having their own little thing, but I'm cool. You're the crap. Hey, come on down, Nathan. Calm down. You're the crybaby. They can't accept other people's opinions on Mount, but fanboys will be fanboys, and their fair play to Mount winning Champions League was that meant to hurt me? Hey, listen, you know what it is people will all have opinions on football. Of course, people will have their own stats. People will have their own beliefs. What you've got to stress, we all have to stress, is we all have our own beliefs, okay? But they can change. And I think some people don't really want to change their beliefs. They can change. And when someone comes with something, that's why I think you always need to respectfully accept someone's opinion. I will not accept no one's opinion that Ronaldo is anywhere near Messi. I can't see it. However, it would be, banter. So Wilson has put, FG, what's happening, Wilson? Thanks for the comments yesterday in the video. Hope you are staying safe and well, and I hope you are too, especially in the current climate. FG, what would you like to see differently from England come to the World Cup? I would like to see us be progressive. I would like to see us have more possession in the final third, and I would like to get the ball to our forward players so they can express themselves. Wilson's put, I'm still absolutely good about the England loss. It did it for 2 days. England defended too deep, which allowed the Italians to go on the front foot and long periods of the game. 100%. We always say it in the streams, if you sit deep and if you have two defensive-minded players or team or philosophy, the other team get another 15% and they will try and break you down, and good teams will beat you. Happy we got to the final, but we have to accept we are still losers and can't be happy with, otherwise we will get winners. I'm down for that. You know what I'm like when it comes to that. I'm a little bit harsh. I think second is the same as last, but I appreciate the effort. I appreciate everyone trying to get there, and you do need luck, and we ran out of luck because we used all of our luck up to the final. Bam Bang and Nath, obviously they're going on at it. Samuel's put Phillips can break lines, but Southgate doesn't let him. He created Sterling's goal via Croatia. I like Phillips. Phillips, exactly a good point, broke the lines and got forward to give the assist to Sterling. And for Leeds, even though he sits deep, he does like to get forwards. I think he was restricted. He did great in the tournament, but he can be so much better if he was allowed to move forward. Lloyd Smith, thanks for popping in. Appreciate that. It's a new name, so it must be a new subscriber. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We are growing quickly, which is excellent. Did you hear that Chiellini said he put a curse on Saka? Well, listen, he's old school defender. You've seen it last minute of the game. He misjudged it. Saka was going to get away, and he grabbed him round his neck by his shirt and dragged him down. That's defending. That's winning. You know, that's not being nice. Chris has put Hibs tonight. Come on, you Gunners. Yeah, I think Curtis is doing a watch along. I don't know what channel he's watching that on. Nath, Bang Bang wasn't back in England. You're Mount and fanboy, but keep crying. Hey, Nath, calm down now. Where are we? How Beast put life is better. PS. I'm a he. We talk on Twitter. There you go. Good. You never want to call a she a he, or vice versa. Bang hindsight is a beautiful thing, Fran. Whenever it's football or financial markets, so we have to accept that England have done more in the past 10 years than the past 50 years. They have got further in competitions, but they don't play better football. So I agree with that. I agree they've got further. And don't remind me of the financial markets. I am down 10% this last 10 days, and the wife's not happy. So don't know what's happening with the charts at the moment. But yeah, exactly. Hindsight is a beautiful thing. Wilson's put Southgate made the substitutions too late and picked up the wrong penalty takers, like Sancho and Saka. He should have selected Kane, Maguire, Henderson, Sterling, and Grealish for the shootout. Now, get to that. Manager will ask players who wants to take a penalty. They will put their hands up, and then the manager will say, right, yep, not sure, yep, not sure. For me, he's got to let Jack Grealish take the penalty rather than Saka. You know? Jack Grealish said that he wanted it. If that's true, he's got to that's bad management and bad decisions again, you know? Mo Timbo, thanks for popping in. A new name, so it must be a new subscriber. If not, hit the subscribe. Do you think we have the CM to dictate the play? A De Bruyne, Gene, etc. Is there anyone you can identify who's English in the middle who could dictate play? We don't produce players like that a lot because we don't believe in keeping the ball in England. It's a philosophy thing that we don't really do. You see it in the Premier League. The Premier League is a lot quicker. And trying to think if there's anyone who is that type of foreign play. Foden would be good, but he's attacking minded, so he could maybe leave us exposed if he played in the middle. I do think Phillips has got it in the bag if he had other players around him, and Jude Bellingham has definitely got it playing in Germany. Jude Bellingham's young, but he is a type of player who could keep the ball moving. We've seen him for Dortmund, so for me, Jude Bellingham would be your closest one, and probably the next one that could do it. FG, I'm not from Nath. I'm not praising a player for working hard. When that is a sure minimum from the target, 100%. I'll praise him for working hard because he couldn't get in the game, but for me, it doesn't mean he's had a good game. Wilson's Sport, I believe that Southgate shouldn't have never started Henderson with Phillips because he challenged the engines. He's always going to start Rice. He loves Rice. Rice is his top first pick. Samuel, he's watching it on Arsenal website. Right. Charging $7.89 for one game whilst club stream on YouTube free. Interesting. Peter, Mounds put Mount was crap. Period. Should have played with Grealish. Hasn't got a clue. Sam's put Luis Enrique leaves the place to dictate their own penalty takers. Interesting. Chris has put Southgate admitted he chose the wrong penalty takers and order Saka and the order. Saka fifth disgrace on Southgate's head. 100%. Jude Bellingham is the one I think also. Yep, can't agree anymore. Fran, are you worried with RS Arsenal facing Brentford? Because last year you lost to them pre-season and fans lost their reds. Yes, I am. I know Ivan Toney personally. And if they start really well, they could actually have more possession with us and cause a lot of problems. And our centre-halves could struggle against Ivan Toney. It could work the other way because it's the first game of the season. But I've said I think we could possibly lose the first 3 games. Phillips box-to-box instead of holding midfielder. Luis Enrique said he leaves the players to decide their own pens. Like that. And there you go. A foreign thing again. In England, the manager always picks when you put your hand up who wants it. And abroad, completely different mindset. And I've been banging the drum for us to change our philosophy since I was playing 20 years ago. Well, since I retired. Well, since I started playing and then I retired. So we're not getting nowhere. Wilson's put, I believe that England have made huge strides in Southgate, but he needs to get more out of the attacking players. I believe that team-wise, they have made huge strides. I believe team-wise, they have made huge strides. I believe the way that we play, we've gone backwards. So I think as a team, we've gone forwards by the morale, but I think as style of play and threat, we've moved backwards. Tony's put robbery. Yeah, it is robbery, isn't it? Bangman's put Saka was backed the entire tournament, played nearly every game, but he's being roasted for the 5th pen. Where's the sense, lads? The manager backed him. He had a good journey, high on confidence. Yes, I 100% agree that he had a half-decent tournament. I probably had 2. He had about 40 minutes total good in the tournaments in 2 games, 20-minute spells in 2 games. But for me, he's 19. He's never took a penalty in the final of the Euros at Wembley. You've got to take the pressure off him. You've got to take the pressure off him. He's never taken a penalty. He was absolutely shocking when he came on. Worst game I've seen him played in about 12 months. And you've got to see that as a manager, that when players have bad games, you shouldn't allow them to have penalties. You shouldn't allow them to have penalties. Fact of the matter is, unless they're top penalty takers for the likes of Kane, who was shocking, but expertly dispatched his penalty. So I think it comes down to the management again, man managing. I think he's a great man manager, but he's got it wrong. He's got it wrong. Nave said to Bama, England are overhyped and overrated. I wasn't backing them, but nice try. Munzi's put nope. Motimbo's put, if Arteta goes by November, who realistically do you think we should have? Would you take Gareth? Not a chance. Not a chance. I would never have Gareth Southgate as a club manager. Mancini, Enrique, I would have Potter. I like him. I would have Brendan Rodgers, but he's not going to leave. Managers like that. People who want to get the ball down and play. Wilson's put, I feel sorry for Saka because he's so young, under immense pressure. This guy will be top player and everybody has to get behind him. You've got to feel sorry for him because it is, no one wants to ever go through that. They'll be living that moment for the rest of their life, especially if they never win anything. They'll be living that moment for the rest of their life. So you have to feel sorry for them. Of course you do. Southgate is like, Ollie, not good enough. Agreed. Bang, bang. Also, when United won the Champions League in 2008, guess the 19-year-old who took the 5th pen, Nani. I get it. You can all listen. Bang, bang. There's always a counter argument for things in football. Always there's a counter argument, you know, always. However, history is history. Nani's not Saka, you know. He could put it away and be all fully saying he could have been a hero and all that things. But the fact of the matter is, when you don't put it away and you're not a hero, that's when the questions come up, you know. So there's a counter argument for everything. But I'm very much, standards are ridiculously higher the older I've got and how life works, you know. Chris has put, I think Saka lacked confidence and was nervous in some of the game when he played, including the final. He was terrible in the final. Terrible. He will get the World Cup, then he will go. I don't think we'll get far in this World Cup, but I could be wrong, and I hope that I'm wrong. I like to be proved wrong, you know. FG, he's mad hurt 1966. Still bothers him. Obviously, England have a chance to end that, and he just didn't do enough. See why he's mad and stressed out, in my opinion. You're going to be stressed when you do anything wrong in life, especially at that level. Of course you are. But he'll be looking back, and he should have done a lot better. And I think a better coach gets it right. That's the whole point of me having this stream, is we have to dissect where it went wrong, like we do when we take a trade, like we do when we do things wrong in life. We only learn when we go back and have a look, and that's why we're doing this. It was Anderson, not Nanny, Munzie's saying, bang, bang. Wilson's put, I was absolutely disgusted with the racial abuse at Saka. Hey, listen, we live in a country that is infested with uneducated racism, uneducated when it comes to the side of democracy, media-based country. We allow too many people to speak, and it's part of our society. And racism's is something I don't want to touch on here because we couldn't go too deep, but it's something that will be around and has been around forever, and social media makes it worse. England should ban certain platforms until you have to get verified. In Dubai, I know you can't have Twitter, you can't have Facebook, you can't have things like that because it creates negative in a society. It creates negative in society. Bang ball. I don't support England. I watched every game. What's that comment? Where is that comment? Don't support England. I watched every game. I back Italy from the first game. Let's talk football, lad. Yeah, I did say that Italy were my dark horses and many people's. Hakuna Matata, for me, it doesn't matter how old you are to take a penalty when you play like big club like Arsenal and make millions a week, but we all see it different. Of course. You see, the thing is, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how confident you are. When you're faced with this goal that looks this small, you've got Donnarumma in goal and you've had a stinker and you know you need to score to stay in the final, the pressure, it doesn't matter how good you are, it goes out the window. It really does. That's what bringing Big Sam when Arteta gets sacked. Please no, that would be the worst nightmare. The AirPod guy. You know why they hear the AirPods? It used to be a mobile, so the assistant or the coach would go to the top of the stadium and he would be on a mobile the whole time to someone else on the bench telling you how the game's going because you have a bird's eye view. Now I think the AirPods are for that until when he comes down. People say Southgate put him in that position. He got asked and said, yes, it was his decision. Yeah, Southgate would have asked him, he would have put his hand up. I just think Southgate must have thought, wait a minute, Jack Grealish also put his hand up. That's what baffles me. English style football won't win international competitions. Said it for the last 20 years. Social media companies, the government and all authorities need to do more to kick out racism and tolerate it in all walks of life. Punishment just needs to be bigger. Job done. And the social media platforms either need to be banned or KYC, I think it is, or verified. Mount and Kane, disaster class in the final. Grealish and Santos should have came on much earlier. Yeah, both were poor. From legend of Renegade, thanks for popping in. Next put, Judy's only 17. He has shown much more promise, but hits his peak when he's going to be one other player. The only problem is, I hope that we don't play negative, and he hardly ever plays. Bellingham was heavily underused, of course. Bang Pans, but Nathan, where do you think Bellingham is going to end up? City maybe in 3 or 4, 5 years. Maybe, could do. Tony C has put, where's Tony? Tony's put, we had the chance to win it normal and extra time, but it looked like we played for penalties and that becomes a lottery, 100%. Wilson, it has been a great Euros. It has been a very good Euros. Mo Tim has put, Black players score, bring it home, lads. Black players miss, go back to your home. That's the uneducated, unfortunately. Great content as usual, Francis. Thanks ever so much. If so, hit the like if you already haven't. It's always great to get a like. That's the fee. Bang, bang. Didn't back England either. I was looking for France, Italy, Spain, etc. Bang, bang. Fran, what if penalty shootouts was a best of 3 sets like tennis? It would make it seem less like a lottery. Yeah, but I think you'd be driving everyone mad. Legend of Renegades put, new subscriber. I found you through Curtis' channel. Big up to yourself. Really do appreciate it. Me and Curtis go back a very long way. So it's always good. I know I get a lot of people from Curtis' channel. So thanks ever so much. Wilson has put, we've got 10 minutes left, people, by the way. So keep firing them in. Wilson has put, do you think that Pickford could have done better with the goal that England conceded? You know what? I think it's a bit harsh. I think his reactions were superb. He got down very quickly. Hit on the post and came back. So, no, I don't, to be honest, Wilson. I really don't. Do you think that Arsenal have a chance of getting Maddison? It looks like it's dying down. I can't see Maddison coming. He's probably seen that we're a sinking ship. I'd love Luis Enrique if we get him. Then when we sack Emre, but how are we running elite managers wants to work? No, we've got no chance. Golden goal. I used to like the golden goal. I used to like the golden goal. I really liked it. Wilson's put, do you think that Ben White will be a good signing for Arsenal? Hey, listen, Ben White can be a good player and will go on to be a good player, I believe. However, 50 million at the moment for a player who's probably mainly going to play centre-back, is that a good move? I like him. I like him. Excuse me. I like him. But I'm not sure if 50 million is expensive, or is just that the premium at the moment? Is that the premium? You know? Bang, bang. Pickford was unlucky. It didn't scrape further onto the post and go out for a corner. Got to agree, I thought he was very, very unlucky on that. Arsenal have got a lot of work to do in terms of signing players, getting rid of them. We need to be real. A lot of work needs to be done, and we've not got long left. Might be another Callum Chambers. I think he's going to be better than Callum Chambers. Hoping so anyway. Remember the golden goal. The first to score in extra time would have been better way rather than penalties, as at least it's not down to one player's mistake. What I like about the golden goal is both teams go for it. It makes the game exciting, you know. We need another Tony Adams. Well, we don't get that no more, do we? I'll tell you what, I watched the Copa America. I don't know if anyone did when we came onto Curtis's channel, and the defending over there was proper like English. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Is Martinelli fit for pre-season? I hope. He's a bit of a candy floss player, isn't he? He breaks down too easy. They've put, no, Saka shouldn't have never been put in such a high pressure situation, especially when you consider the fact that he doesn't take any for us at club level. He'll be a stronger player for it. Missed. Yep. We don't know what Southgate would have said to him. We really don't know what Southgate would have said to him, but it seems like he persuaded him to have it. Darren's popped in. Thanks ever so much, Darren Eastman. He has put penalties, England's 11 have taken as pros. Grealish 1, Saka 0, Maguire 0. Maguire's was top draw, weren't it? Spanked it. Sancho 3, Rashford 14. You can understand Rashford, and obviously Kane pens. Sterling 5, 3 missed. Stones 0, Shaw pen. Phillips 0. Hard task. Very hard. And when I see those numbers, I can understand why we didn't win a penalty shootout, because no one takes penalties. How's Beast put, the Saliba handling is a mess. Third loan spell, it screams Mickey Mouse hierarchy. Don't know what's going on there. There's an ego problem with him and Arteta. Could be from both sides. Wilson's put, I am hopeful that England will be stronger next year, and they have to learn from these mistakes. Of course, listen, these players will learn massively. It will make them stronger, like we do in life. Like if your girlfriend leaves you, or you lose your job and you lose everything, or whatever, you know, you're going to learn from your mistakes. Hopefully. Some people don't, and they're still making the same mistakes at 50 and 60. But hopefully you would, you know, use these and learn. Who is the great potential, Saka or Martinelli? Ooh, Martinelli is a player. Saka's got a lot to learn, but Saka's more direct, I would say. But it's hard to say. Hard to say. Mo Timbo's put, in my opinion, do you think racism is a bigger issue in football than any other industry? From your perspective, a previous footballer, my wife seems to think it is. I'm not too sure. Racism in football is huge because the type of people that follow football, it's always been a very thuggish, kind of hard man's former council estate mindset. You know, most footballers come from council estates. It's been our life for a very long time. They started to change a little bit when women and kids came to the grounds, when it stopped standing, etc., things like that. But I think racism is the same level as it was forever. You just don't get it at games as much. You just now get it on social media. But as for sports, as a crowd, yes, but as a sports, no, racism in the likes of golf, tennis, sports like that, racism, Formula One, racism is within the sports, as in the decision making. You know, Motim has put, in your opinion, do you think racism? Oh yeah, just read that out. Duh. The Legend of Renegade has put, Fran, what's your thoughts on Saliba going on loan yet again? The treatment he has received has been awful. I think it's disgusting the way he's been treated. He may not be doing himself any better. He may not be conducting himself off the pitch. He may not be behaving in a professional manner. And it's giving Arteta even more fuel to get rid of him and say, I told you so. But Unless Arteta goes, I don't think him playing for Arsenal. Tones put, yes, Copa America was tackling, was good to see. It was great. Who's up for kidnapping Tony? Well, yeah, I could probably find out where he lives, so let's get him. Copa America was old school, loved it. Nate's put, Bangman, I advise Bellingham to stay at Dortmund for his development. There is no need to leave right now. 100%, I think he should stay at Dortmund for at least 2 or 3 years. Who do you think, why do you think Saliba is being pushed out? Should the owner step in? Listen, owners can't step in. They have to trust their manager, because then they'll build a bridge with, they'll burn the bridge with their manager. So we can't really do that. English managers are, you know what, sugar. Hey, HSN, hey, listen, we appreciate it. Make sure if you've not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the like. I know there's a few new names in here. Love it. Wilson's put, come on, Arsenal. That's what we need. Timber, great live stream. I love the answers you bring. Hey, listen, you know, I've been in the game a long time, played nearly 400 professional games, was an agent, you know, punditry. So, you know, I don't know it all, but I've got quite a strong opinion on what's going on. I hate football. I hate the golden goal. It will encourage teams to defend more, because if they concede, they lose the match. See, I think the opposite, to be fair, Grant. I think teams would just have to go for it. There's a reason the top 8 haven't got an English manager. True. Fran, I want to, sorry with the light. Fran, I want to thank you for opening my eyes to Copa America. Their football was mad, and you made me laugh. Blank CVs being sent. Hey, listen, the Copa America was outstanding. Really was. Good to see some proper football. Make sure you send those blank CVs off. I've got a new job as a panel communications advisor for Kantar. It starts on second ballers. I'm absolutely buzzing about this. Woo! Congratulations, Wilson. Make sure everyone says congrats on a new job. It's always nice. Kurz and Fran are like Keenan and Cal, very close friends as well. Nath, the Bangs put to Nath, I agree, but I think Martin is unreal and mature as a pitch. Let's hope he stays fit. We've got 3 or 4 minutes left. Reese Laquette, new name. Hope you're a new subscriber. Make sure you hit the button. If not, thank you. You have put early relegation predictions for the season. Oh, it's going to be tough. Norwich are going to have to do well, aren't they? Brentford are going to have to do well. And if Newcastle don't sort themselves out, they could struggle. And Brighton probably going to establish themselves. So not sure who the third. Obviously, Norwich and Fulham are going to. Norwich and Brentford are going to be your first 2, but hard on the other one, to be honest, Reese. But thanks for popping in and a great question. Do you think Balogun and Aziz are ready for the first team? From what I have seen, they look good enough to be on the bench now. I think we need to ease them in. I think pre-season we will see them eased in. I think they'll play more games than they did do last season, and I think they will maybe thrown in at the deep end, and that'd be good if they are. Norwich and Arsenal, I hope not. Bang Bang's put Fran. One last question for my G. As a forward player, what do you think most look forward to? Where are we? As a forward player, what do you most look forward to exploit? Did you have any tricks up your sleeve or any you learned along the way? I used to be a very, very fast dribbler, but it got taken out of me when I became professional because the ball moves quicker than dribbling. And that's why you don't see a lot of dribbling in the modern game. We used to see it all the time. But you're coached now to not dribble the ball. You're coached to play it off and let the ball do the work. All I ever used to do was step over one side or knock it while we're on side in the other. Because as a winger, because I was mainly a winger, there is about a 20 by 20 square meter that you can kick the ball into and just have a race with the fullback. So if you're quick, you don't need a trick, kick it past people and just race them. And you're normally going to get a corner or you're going to beat them and be able to get a cross in. So for me, if you're not quick, the ball needs to do the movement for you. Darren Eastman has put Ben White would come good. He's got the qualities. He's got the attributes. I hope he does. Sianda, thanks for popping in again. Has put, do you think Arteta will get it right this season? And what are your thoughts about him as a manager? I think he will get it wrong again because I don't think he's good enough. And as a manager, I don't think he's good enough at the moment. And Arsenal is too early for him. He should have gone somewhere else to learn his trade. Tim's put the fact that Messi could play such good football in Copa America, which was crazy, aggressive, just shows how good he can do in the Premier League, despite what many say. He wouldn't come to the Premier League. You know why he wouldn't come to the Premier League? He wouldn't get the ball. he could only go to Man City, and if he went to Man City, he'd be outstanding. But any other club, they wouldn't give him the ball. And the English is so fast tempo. It's like you have it, we have it, you have it, we have it, because the quality is so poor. But Messi is the best thing I've ever seen. We've most mentioned it before in the chat. Darren Eastman, excited to see Balogun pre-season tour. Hope he gets games. Next spot, as much as I think Saliba has potential and make an impact on the first team, he has room. I hope so, for improvement. Bang Bang, have you ever thought about opening a coaching academy or teaching football? I was going to do a little bit before, but I like to move. Now that I've been moved to Dubai for a couple of times, I've always wanted to move, but I have children here, my 3 daughters, but they're getting older now. So reason I wouldn't have a coaching school here is probably because I want to move to Europe in the next couple of years. And YouTube is perfect for that. Trading is good for that if you can remain profitable. Podcasts, and hopefully, you know, a little lifestyle brand with regards to, you know, fitness wear, supplements, water bottles, etc., things like that. So they're the things that I'm setting up. And I hope a podcast in the future, sometimes it would just be me talking about everyday things, football things, lifestyle things, and how to get better. We all need to get better. We're miles away at the moment. That's more like I'm thinking. But I think if I was stationary, then yeah, I would have done a lot more coaching, to be honest. I really would have. Bang Bang. Next put, but handling the Saliba has been poor, and I'd have liked us to extend his contract before sending him out alone. I think he's gone now. I think we'll lose him. Joe, instead of 50 million for White, we could use Aura and Basuma for 60 million. Good. No, come on, Messi would dominate in any team. Listen, he's the best thing I've ever seen, and it wouldn't surprise me, but I think sometimes he can get cancelled out. But he's just enjoyed. We should just be happy that we've managed to live in an era with Messi. Nave said to Joe, Partey would be good partner next to him. We'll kick in next season. Do you think we could get Basuma? And thoughts on Lokonga? Lokonga's got a good chance, good opportunity. He's very young. I think he's got a good chance. Thanks for the stream today, mate. No putty, really enjoyed it. And love from Singapore. Bang Bang's in Singapore. What a place. What a place, Singapore. Anyway, everyone, we are bang just over an hour. The live streams have been absolutely excellent. I think we will do more of the live streams. Sorry if I'm looking there and looking there rather than in the lens here. We've got a couple of screens going on. But thanks ever so much. Appreciate your time. People stay in there for an hour of your time. As we know, time is so precious. We shouldn't waste time. And I hope that you really, really enjoyed the stream. Enjoy the rest of the day. Again, keep improving. Don't let things that you can't control affect you, as hard as that may be. And I'll love you and leave you all. You take care.